I've spent hundreds of hours buying, selling, tracking, but it wasn't until recently that I started to wonder, how much can I actually trust this collectibles tracking application to give me the right value? You know, it actually show me the total value of dollars back in my pocket. You're watching Getting to Know Collectr Part 2. And in Part 1, we covered how to actually set up the app. So how to get started, creating your account, putting things into your portfolio, just so you can follow along and have a better understanding of how your collection and maybe your investments are doing. The goal is to follow along, right? Like, a market is alive. Markets are not breathing, but they are alive. Like, they are living. There are things that constantly change and update, and you need to follow along with the ebbs and the flows. And part of those ebbs and flows is seeing when something spikes. Part of those ebbs and flows is seeing when something drops. Are people trying to manipulate it, like we saw a lot with the Mega Gengar? Or is now a really good time to buy more of that thing? Prismatic Evolutions a couple of weeks ago got down to like 150. I hate to be that guy, but there are probably 3 really big features in Collectr that are designed to help you make more informed decisions. I personally don't really care all that much about the whole value of my portfolio. You've always got to be thinking about, what are the market trends right now? It doesn't matter what happened a month ago. It doesn't matter what happened half a year ago. What is popular today? Next up, we have, what are your own biggest wins and losses? How else are you going to know when to collect, cut, compound? And another feature that is just so underrated, classifying your portfolio by product type. That could be Yu-Gi-Oh! It could be Pokemon, it could be Magic. It could be slabs, it could be sealed, it could be raw cards. Is the majority of your portfolio just in one product? Is it just in even one set as a whole? Like, do you just have a ton of 151? But nothing else? What does your actual collection look like now compared to 7 days ago? In here, I can see that you added a few more cards already. You were able to add in that Umbreon that you pulled from a pack for $20, hence why your average paid is $20. Now, when we're talking about anything that's like under $100, it's not groundbreaking. Like, the difference of being up 30% on a $100 investment is nice, from a percentage gain, but it's not the same as being up on like a $1,000 investment. The most important reason why we use charts to track our investments is because it gives you an idea. It lets you see the market. So like, for the last 3 months here, right? I can see Umbreon started at 10,000. I can see that Umbreon started at 1,091.46, and today it's up to 1586.47. If you would have pulled that card 3 months ago, it would have been great. You know, you only spent 20 bucks on the pack and you pulled a $1,000 card. But you pulled it a week ago. So now your $20 pull is worth $15.86. Do you even know what the return on investment is? To be up 79.3 times your money is not just free and clear, but that effectively would allow you to buy something else. That would free you up, right? If you really think about it, I can now sell that Umbreon and maybe go buy a sealed case of Chaos Rising booster boxes. How good of an investment would that be? What are we looking at? 250 times 6? So you're at 1,500? Just try to move that card for exactly 1,500 and then pay the tax. I'm going to switch over to my own account because, again, join Collectr Pro. You're just not going to get all of the features on a free account. But I want to show you the way that I myself use the Collectr app. Continue with email. The most beneficial feature for me is this right here. How can I actually see what my realized and unrealized profits are? How do I see what even my unrealized losses are, right? Like, those are a component of it too, for sure. I wanted to be surprised, so I haven't even logged into my Collectr account in the last week. So if we take a look at my last 7 days, I'm down $285.94. I haven't moved anything. I haven't deleted anything. I haven't added anything. I do have things that I can add to my portfolio here. I just haven't done it yet. Do I have my Chaos Rising in here? Chaos Rising. I know I have one booster box case. Yeah, see? I don't have my Pokemon Center booster box. I don't have my 2 PC ETBs. and I'm going to keep the booster bundles for myself so I could rip that and have fun with that. So technically, I'm already up again. You're probably asking yourself, cool, Rick, I get it. I'm following my portfolio. I understand what I have and what I own and what I could or should maybe do with it. But like, what's a market trend? What does that even look like? How do I know when things are going up? Well, that's a great question. What you're going to do is go into search. You're going to find, I don't know, Pokemon. Let's just do Pokemon because we know it's simple and straightforward. Take a look at the Show Sets feature. Under Show Sets, you could go to Chaos Rising, and you can go to Set Analytics. Set Analytics are going to show you a lot about the set. Now, keep in mind, when a set is brand new, it tends to fluctuate a lot. When a set first drops, it has that pre-release hype. No one knows where the Mega Greninja SIR is going to go. So they're like, hey, I think it could get up there with Mega Gengar and Mega Charizard and Mega Dragonite, right? Hopefully, maybe. If you go down, you can actually see that was not the case. Mega Greninja EX, 364.93. It is down 38%. How do we feel about that? Me personally, I love it. I would genuinely love for everything to just burn to the ground and restart so I could start accumulating. I don't know why I'm doing this hand motion, but you know, so then I could start accumulating even more things again. You know, can I get in on more Ascended Heroes? Can I get back in on Destined Rivals booster boxes? Like, there's a lot of things that I want to start buying again that I'm just not happy with where they are currently today in the market. Adding to that, you can see the other most wish-listed cards. Froakie, down 37%. Xerneas, down 38.85%. You can take a look at sales volume. So you see that the volume on these cards have gone up significantly. Keep in mind, it's a brand new set. It could not have sold a lot in April. So here we are now in May, and we're seeing a higher percentage of sales and price distribution and all that good stuff. Let's go to a more well-established set. How about everyone's favorite, Prismatic? Set Analytics. We can see over the last month, it's trending up. This is a good idea for you to now say, hey, maybe I missed the boat. Maybe now's a good time to get in. But like you can see here, total set value, $5,852.75. To start the month, 30 days ago, it was $5,345.75. So we're up $506. The reason that's important, take a look at the last 3 months, take a look at the last half year, take a look at all time. All time, it was really high. I mean, look at when the total set value was $8,000. Technically speaking, we still have like $2,000 to go until we're back into that like high point of the range. At its low point, we were about $4,000, $3,900, $4,000. Like, that is a really, really good amount of growth that we have seen. I mean, almost $2,000 in the last 4 months, 5 months, you know? Volatility, it is still pretty speculative. I don't know that I agree with that. I do think Prismatic's about as stable as any set could ever be right now. You're seeing market movers. Like, you could see that the booster bundle displays are going up. You could see that the premium figure collection case is going up. SPC sealed case, that must be insane to own one of those. But yeah, like, everything's starting to trend up. There really isn't anything that I see that makes me think, oh, you know, this set could be heading for a downturn. This set could be burning out or fizzling out anytime soon. I want you to look at sales volume, though. Sales volume, they're only going to show you the last 3 months. So March, April, May. I can see here very clearly that in March, there was a huge uptick in sales, and that kind of correlates to why we started to see that really big burn in March. Like, we started to go from $4,000 all the way up to just under $5,000. These are indicators. These are the things that, I'm not going to lie to you, come with time. You do have to be in the Pokemon market. You do have to, like, as much as this sucks, like, you do have to miss out on an opportunity or two just like this to be able to now spot it for yourself the second time around. It's just like, how do you know what to look for if you haven't seen it yet? The biggest thing that I absolutely need you to understand is that it is okay to miss out on something today, because there will be another Ascended Heroes, there will be another 151, there will be another Prismatic, there will be another Destined Rivals, there will be so many more sets. Pokemon is the #1 biggest IP of all time. Of all time. Like, that's not like my belief or how I feel. Like, definitively, Pokemon is the #1 biggest intellectual property of all time. The last of my absolute favorite features here is how do we organize things so that way I can get a better understanding of what my portfolio looks like. I'm going to show you guys a very shocking number. You go to filter, and you go to filter by category. We're going to take a look at Magic the Gathering. That is $20,398 of my portfolio collection, overall, everything that I own. $20,398. That is actually a larger chunk than I really even thought right now coming into this video. I didn't have the number in mind, but I had an idea that like it'd be at least 15 grand due to Spider-Man. And lo and behold, we're at 20,000, almost 20,005. So what percentage of my portfolio is that? I'm going to go back to the calculator, and I'm going to go 20,000 divided by 81,000. That is 24.69 giggity percent of my entire collection portfolio. That's good. Like, that's actually a sizable chunk. I like that just because it helps me feel a bit more diversified. I don't want to be all in on just Pokemon, and I don't want to be all in on just Magic. I also want to have, remove that, go here, go to filter, find it, One Piece. Bam. I've got $1,200 in One Piece. That's not a lot. I will say, I know One Piece is not high, but for me, you know, it's one of those things where like I don't fully understand the One Piece market. I would say that I am as diversified in One Piece as I would feel comfortable to be. I did sell 4 One Piece boxes at my first ever vending show, and that was worth $1,000. So technically this was probably more like 2,300, 2,500, somewhere around there at some point. I will get heavier into One Piece, especially like if I'm able to buy things and collect them at MSRP, for sure, all day. I won't say no to that. And the last really, really big feature, I'm going to go back to portfolio and go back to main. I want to show you guys market movers. Press the button, price change, high to low. This is a really quick way for you to understand what is popular, what is moving. Just like I said when we were back there getting gas. How do I actually identify the things that are worth maybe moving today because they spiked 10%, 20%, 30% in a very short amount of time? Remember, I haven't been in my own collector in a while, so I haven't really even thought about looking up these, but new type rising booster boxes. I'm going to go to TCG Player, opens up TCG Player, and I can see that one box right now is going for $383.99. $383.99. There are 100 of these boxes on the market. As these start to sell through, as these start to disappear and vanish, and people just buy them up, we can expect that number to grow. I'm back in the calculator app. I want to show you guys because I was buying these boxes at $169, right? $175. I was buying these boxes at $175. So if we look at that, that is now let's say 380 divided by 175. I am up 2.17 times. I am up over double the money. But I actually think that these new type rising booster boxes will get to $500 at a minimum. At that point, I will offload another. I haven't decided yet. I am heavily leaning towards doing about 4 or 5 and just having the 6 for way better than free. But again, you want to just be able to scroll through and see like, hey, what's doing well? Like I have that Hoopa. It's an XY promo. It says it's up for $417.94. That sounds high to me. I do have mine listed on TCG Player. I hope that it goes. I would love to get out of that Hoopa card because I bought them for like $80 forever ago. Lily's Clefairy, they're finally starting to go up as well, up 5%. I think if I can see that Lily's Clefairy, because remember, I was doing a buyout. I was trying to do my own buyout, and then I wanted to get a whole bunch of them to send in for grading. The buyout didn't work. The grading is taking way longer than I expected it would. If I see Clefairy get up to a price where I am just offsetting the, TCG player fees, then I'll gladly take that. I'm going to throw you a bonus because this is one that is inaccurate. And this is why it's important to actually know what is in your collection. How do you know what the actual value of your things are? This right here is Team Aqua's Kyogre. I sold my Team Aqua's Kyogre on TCG Player this past week. I shipped it out pending payment from TCG Player, not actual waiting for this to go through. Anywho, it was near mint, and it looks like the next lowest near mint that you could buy. So there are some for $485, some for $480, there are some for $660 and $643. I'm pretty sure that I sold mine for like $640, maybe $650. Remember, your big 3 key takeaways. It's important to track your portfolio so that way you know where you are invested, how well are your actual investments doing. Is it time to rotate out? Is it time to go do something else with it? And then 3, what do I get into next? What's at a good price that if I were to buy it today, I'm not going to have any regrets? If you can keep these things in mind when you're looking for the next opportunity, you're going to be a much happier person. It can go down a little bit. It can go up very quickly in a short amount of time, and you won't feel anything. You won't panic sell. You won't also panic sell just to, make a quick buck. You'll be able to see the whole opportunity and say, oh, well, I only got into that thing for MSRP, maybe just a little bit over. It's already up double, but everything's up right now. I could probably just keep waiting. Maybe it goes up another 50% of the double, Maybe it goes up another 25% from where it doubled up to. Or even better, maybe you've always had your eye on an older set that you just couldn't afford at the time. Now this is going to be your first ever Sun and Moon box, your first ever XY era box, or even pack. And as always, if this was at all helpful for you, if you found any of this information helpful, do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. That does tell YouTube and its algorithm that, hey, maybe this guy's doing something good to help out other people. The last thing that I want to see is people making poor investing and financial decisions. And, there's a lot of people who are spending money that they shouldn't on cardboard. Cardboard's great. Cardboard's a lot of fun. I love it personally. I would be a hypocrite if I told you not to buy cardboard. But I think that there's a time and place, and I think you can always buy at a better time.